Okay, let's try this again. Now I'm not rocking up and down, and we have full service so this message can get across. What I was trying to say to you tonight was talking about the enrollment process of sales. So I was using the example of someone I talked with recently who is an autoimmune expert. And I talked with her because I was like, hey, I want to know a little bit more about what you do. So I sent the example of how she responded. She posted this long post on social media, and this is exactly how sales enrollment works. Posted this long post on social media and talking about her program and who it's for and describing the pain points of her potential clients. And she knows them because she's describing herself before she got the results. So she's talking about waking up with fatigue, going from doctor to doctor. And if you know anything about autoimmunes, this is all the symptoms. And like, then this symptom is gone and then this new symptom pops up. And so she was talking about that. And I was like, she spoke to my pain points. So that's why it's so important to write down like your before story. Like Jen, you could talk about your issues with psoriasis before you naturally cured them. Like I would speak to that if you were trying to attract someone like that, someone you'd love to work with like that. Mona, I would talk to someone who doesn't understand their period or their cycles and they're having all these different symptoms and they don't know why. So I would talk to those pain points. And maybe it's a little bit about your before story about how you used to have a lot of anxiety and gut issues and how you naturally have come on to the other side. Chris, I'd talk about how you forever wanted, I swear you talked about having a Jennifer Aniston body. Like you thought that was the thing. That was what you were supposed to be doing. And now you're on the other side and you're like, accept yourself and all the things that come with that. So you could talk about the pain points of not accepting yourself and how that feels on a psychological, emotional, physical, relational level. I would get so laser clear on what your potential clients' pain points are, and then you can speak to their pain. And that's exactly what this naturopath did. So then I said, hey, I want to know more about the program. She's a cohort. I'm in a mastermind with her. So I already kind of know her, and you know, we know the sales enrollment process. So I said, tell me about it. And then so she said, hey, would love to tell you about it. Would love to talk about why you want to talk about it. I'm available Thursday and Friday at 10 o'clock. I'm like, those times, or at the beginning I was like, those times don't work. And then I just messaged her. I'm like, hey, do you have time today? She's like, yes. So then it worked out. So then I talked to her, and in the sales enrollment process, she said, she started off the call with, so tell me, we small talked for a little bit, and then she's like, so tell me what you've tried to do to remedy the situation so far. What doctors have you seen? Like, what methods have you tried? What supplements? Like, she really got in there and wanted to know exactly what I had tried, detailed, which made me think, oh, she cares. She's interested. And there was a lot of like, yeah. And then she used a little bit of her own story of, God, that's exactly how I used to feel, and I know exactly what you're going through right now. So then it made me feel comforted, and it made me feel like, okay, she could be the person that takes me to the other side, because she is where I am right now, and now she's on the other side, which is what you want from your coach, which is what you want from someone that you're gonna hire, or that someone's gonna hire you. And then I'm using this because I thought it was such a good sales enrollment call, and she was like, I said, love it, love it, love it. I'm like, okay, so tell me about like what the programs are. What do you have available? And she's like, okay, so I have my group program, and then she talked about a little bit who's in there. She's like, we have women who are high achieving and they are successful business owners, but they blah, blah, blah. And I was like, of course, she's describing me. So she knows I'm her ideal client, and I know that she knows my kind of stamina and all that stuff. So I already feel like, okay, that would be a good place to be in. Now, if you don't have anyone in your program right now, that's fine. You can say who it's for. You can say it's for women who, ... Like, think about who you want to have in your program. Like, who do you want to fill it with? Describe them in detail. So when you're on the phone with someone, or if you're on instant messenger, Instagram, or messenger on Facebook, you can say like, the women that are joining this program. You don't say the women that joined, like you can say the women that I created this program for are ... and then it describes your ideal client to a T. So if they don't fit it, they don't fit it. They're not an ideal client. That's fine. So then she described that, and then she described the other one, and it kind of sounded the exact same. And I was like, okay. She's like, well, which one sounds good? I'm like, well, it depends how much they are, like straight up. And so she's like, okay, she described like the group program first, and then she described the private program. I would have reversed it and said the private program is, because it was so much more expensive, and then the group program is this. And then she did a really smart job, which is she said the group program is this, told me the total, and then she said, but majority of women pay half in full and then do this monthly payment plan. And then I was like thinking about all the different prices. I'm like, that is actually seems like the best deal. I don't even know if it is, but I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, okay. And then she kind of fumbled on the credit card information, which was fine. I don't really care. And so she got my information a few times. And then she immediately sent me a program agreement and a questionnaire and all that stuff. And I was like, cool. And I felt really taken care of, and like through the whole entire process. And I felt like I knew I was talking to an expert, because she was so clear on who she helps. So that sales enrollment process should be a great example for you when you are getting reached out to by these people who are like, tell me about your program. What they're really saying is like, are you the one to guide me to point B? Are you the one that can actually like take my pain points and bring life to them? Like, take me to the solution island, please. And you have to know in yourself that you will do everything you can to get them to the other side, everything you can in your power. But you also have to make sure they're committed. Are they going to take action every day? Are they going to actually trust you enough to follow the steps that you lay out? Like, if you're on the other side, your clients should trust you. They should say, I've seen her process throughout however long they've been watching you, and I've seen that they've come to this other side. So they must know what they're doing. Like, when I tell you guys sales enrollment conversations, it's because I've had hundreds of them, and they've gone disastrously. And then when I realized, and what I've been taught is, the simpler the better. The person just wants to feel heard. So if you're just getting on the phone with them, like, it's not you taking them out of a situation where it's like, now I get you on the phone. It's like you literally want to know what is ailing them, what is challenging them, so you can help them get to the root of the issue. And sometimes it helps getting on the phone and hearing the person's voice and tapping into how painful it's been to them, and being a human, connecting with them. You can enroll people on Messenger, like all the time. You can do that too. You can voice message back, but make sure you don't make it about you. Make sure you make it about them. And when they ask questions for you, you can say like, that's exactly how I used to feel when, Cass, you might say, that's exactly how I used to feel before I started lifting weights, or how I started understanding that the mindset is so much greater than sometimes even the food. Like, how it is to be on the other side of what your ideal clients are going through. And usually when you're attracting your ideal clients, it's you from a time before. And that just is what it is, because you know what they're going through. You know where they're stuck. And like, if they just trusted the process, like I think sometimes with my clients, I'm like, if they just trusted the process, if they just set a time to say, this is going to be done by this point, and they just did it. If they just trusted to do this, like when I gave, I think some of you heard this earlier on the call we tried to have tonight, when I was saying 30 days, show up for 30 days. Focus on your expertise. Focus on allowing your ideal clients to get to know you. And not only ideal clients, friends, family, because sometimes clients come from friends and family referrals. You don't know where they're coming from. I think the first 20 or 30 clients I had was from people I knew in high school. And they're like, whoa, I didn't know you were doing that. And so when someone reaches out to you that kind of knows you, just be a normal human back. Be a normal person back. You want to be friendly with who you think you would be a good fit for, and they would be a good fit for you. Like, don't be scared to talk to people like they're people. So if someone reaches out and they're like, I want to know more about my program, they're like, awesome, I'd love to know more about you, and tell you about this program, and so we can talk, and I'm free at this time. If that doesn't work, if they're like, no, I just really want to know about the program, then you can be like, all right, cool, I'll tell you about it. And then you can voice text it and be like, here's what's going on in the, like, I'm thinking about Jen right now. Here's what's going on in the on and off your plate program. And then she launches into it, and she's like, she doesn't say like, does this sound like something you're interested in? You just go, this is what it is. And then usually they'll ask another question, and you'll be like, you'll answer it. And then you'll ask like, well, and sometimes I've done this too. Like, I've changed it when they said, I want to know about your program. And I'll go back and say, like, I would love to know why you're interested in the program. Like, what's bothering you right now? And then they'll say it, and then it segues into something. And when I took all the pressure off, and I was like, these are just normal people. These are like my friends. These are people just like me who are struggling with a certain something. And if I have the medicine, if I know I can help them get to the other side, if they trust me enough to follow the suggestions, they will have the results. If they are consistent, they will have results. And that's what it comes down to. I was telling Evelyn this just either today or today. Inconsistency leads to inconsistent results. I think I went live on Instagram and Facebook every day, basically, for like the last, at least posted one thing for the last 5 years. And I still have people saying, I've been watching you for like 5 years and now I want to do it, which I'm like, cool, let's do it. I've had people who I had discovery calls with who are like, too expensive. And then they'll contact me again, and my rates have increased, and they're like, let's do it. So you don't know. Those people could be coming back, the ones that are reaching out. And the reason why, and I want to give you a perspective into a client head. So when I was talking with the autoimmune expert, and she was like, do you want to talk then? What I had to write back is I was just like, I'm just scared. Like, I'm just scared that this isn't going to work again. And she was like, totally put my worries at ease. But the majority of why people aren't committing, or they're like kind of like peeking in, is because they want it, but they're scared. Some people are actually scared of success. Some people are actually scared, like, what is life like on the other side? I've been living with these symptoms for so long. So it's nice to know that that perspective is also in your ideal clients. Like, they're scared. Like, this means they actually have to start taking risks. Like, they actually have to change their lifestyle. Like, who do they become as a mother or a wife or a sister or a friend? Like, and then once it's like, fuck it, and the fear is not greater than the outcome of the other side, they're in. And I thought another great thing, the gal I talked to today, another thing she had was on a questionnaire, and it said, 1 out of 10, how committed are you to changing everything? And I was like, 10. And 10 are the people you want. 10 are the people you know will have the best results. So if there's any questions on sales enrollment calls and conversations, just ask. Like, you can always Voxer me. And I was going to encourage you tonight to get together, pair up, and have mock sales enrollment calls. You guys need experience in this, because for the first 10 people I talked to when I started my business 8 years ago, I didn't enroll anyone, because I was like, I want to be your best friend. And then I was like, I'm scared of hurting your feelings. And then I was like, no, I'm not scared anymore. If I actually think I can help you, I will. And so there is a technique, and there is a formula to having success and enrolling people fast. So you're getting the inquiries, you're getting the interest. Keep posting about your programs and your services, and show up, do the challenges. Like, don't stop until you have the amount of clients that you want. And the only reason you slow down sometimes is because you have enough clients and now you have a wait list, and people are like, can't wait for that. But this is there's so many steps of the entire process. And the faster you realize that the only person that can bring you the success that you know you're able to have is you, the faster you will light that fire under your ass and show up every day. Okay. Night, everybody.